Hey everyone, I'm Neil and welcome to Haven's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a tangy BBQ sesame roasted duck. This recipe is a really special one for us at Haven's Kitchen. Our brand director Courtney came up with this one, and since then it's just stuck with us and it's been an absolute favorite. With the duck, we have a tangy BBQ sauce. It's got the dates, it's got the plums, and when the duck is roasted, it tastes amazing. It gives it a really nice lacquer and it gives it good shine, and that's exactly what we want. We've got a crispy duck skin breast with that lacquery, really glazy sauce, and when it comes out of the oven roasted, it's exactly what you need. Along with that, we're going to have some rice with some sauteed shiitake mushrooms and onions with some scallions. And that's exactly what you need when you cook the duck breast, cut it up, and you serve it on the bed of the rice. If this recipe sounds like something you would like to try, make sure you hit the subscribe button to never miss an update from the Haven's Kitchen cooking channel. Duck breast is a protein that really confuses everyone and it kind of scares everyone. And that's only because it's a bird, it's poultry, but it tastes gamey, it's got a gamey texture, and it's got this huge fat cap. It almost resembles like a pork belly or like a pork shoulder with that fat cap, and people don't know what to do with it. So let's show you what to do with it. What we have right now in front of us is the duck breast with this thick fat cap. And the objective of cooking this duck breast is to make sure that most of the fat from this duck breast renders off. And what we're going to do to make this render sooner and quicker is we're going to score it. Scoring the duck in a crisscross manner essentially just ensures that all the fat is able to come out of the duck breast quicker and sooner. You have to be extremely careful while doing this. You just want to score the fat. You don't want to go too much inside because that's going to make the duck breast cook sooner and you don't want that. Once you went one way, we start going the other way around. Our duck breast is nice and scored, but we haven't gone all the way under into the skin. We're going to flip the duck breast and you're going to see something called silver skin. All you need to do to take off your silver skin is literally go underneath it. You can literally see it, pierce, and get it off. It's really essential to have a super sharp knife for this, just to make sure that you're only getting the silver skin off. It's not something you will miss. You will see it pretty clearly on the duck breast. It looks pretty different from the meat of the duck breast. Again, all you're doing is you're piercing underneath it, you're holding it, you're pinching the silver skin, and you're coming back towards it. Our duck breast has a lot of excess fat on it, and not all of it is nice. So you do want to trim up your duck breast a little bit. Awesome. So you've got a cold pan, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to place the duck skin side down. And after I'm done placing the duck, that's when I'm going to turn the flame on. So as you can see, this is the first stage of the fat rendering down. What this means is that the heat of the pan is finally up to the temp where it can start rendering the fat on the duck breasts instead of rapidly making the fat burn and making the fat come out of the duck breast sooner than we want it to. As you saw, and I know that looked really surprising, that we started the duck breasts off in a cold pan, but there's a reason to this. If we started cooking the duck breasts in a hot pan, what would happen is by the time all the fat from the duck breast was rendered, the breast would also start cooking, and we don't want that. What we want is for the duck fat to slowly and slowly render down without it cooking any of the breast meat. So what's happening traditionally is that the heat from the pan and the duck breast touching the surface is coming up to temp at the same time, rather than the pan being hot and the hot duck breast going straight on the pan. Awesome. Now that we have our duck breasts rendered, what we can do is we can make the glaze for the duck breast, glaze it, and put it in the oven to finish cooking. This glaze is a really simple glaze. It's nothing but toasted sesame oil, and it's going to be half a pouch of our tangy BBQ sauce. Our tangy BBQ sauce has flavors of plum, which resonate the flavors of hoisin sauce, which goes really well with duck. All we have to do is glaze our duck now. I have a brush and I'm going to glaze the duck breasts. I'm just going to glaze it evenly, but not way too much, because if I put way too much on it, the crispy skin is not going to remain that crispy anymore. Awesome. Now that our duck is glazed, all we need to do is put it in the oven and cook it skin side up till it registers an internal temperature of about 155, because with the carryover cooking, it's going to come up to about 160, and that's exactly where we want it. Light pink, but not completely undone. As you can see, we have a lot of duck fat rendered from the duck breasts, and the last thing you want to do is throw away all of this amazing fat, because this is gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some of it in the pan to cook our fried rice, but the rest I'm going to save. And you can do anything you want with this. You could toast your bread with this. You could make some roasted potatoes in this duck fat, because this is delicious. So we have a few minutes left on our duck. In the meanwhile, we can make our fried rice. So our duck breast came out of the oven and we made sure that it rested for about 5 minutes. And resting your meat is super important before you slice it, because otherwise all the delicious juices that are in the duck breast are just going to flow out everywhere, and you don't want that. Gosh, that's beautiful. Those are the chef's part. Whoever makes it always gets to eat this. And there you have it, a tangy BBQ sesame roasted duck. It was super simple. We made this under 30 minutes, and we used some of our duck fat to make an amazing duck fat and shiitake mushroom fried rice. It's there, everything is there, the flavors are on point, they're banging, and this is an amazing dish. If you enjoyed this recipe, be sure to like the video and subscribe to never miss an update from the Haven's Kitchen cooking channel. For the full recipe and the textable shopping list, click on the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to cook happy.